The Dacia Duster recently broke cover, and it is a stunning looking machine, a beautiful looking SUV. And why is it so important to us here in India? Well, the original Dacia Duster was sold as the Renault Duster here in India. While Renault has had a roller coaster ride in the Indian market, we've had a couple of hits and misses, but the Duster was definitely one of their biggest hits. With the Dacia Duster looking the way it is right now, and Renault hopefully bringing it into the country, the one question that is on everybody's mind, mine included, is when will Renault bring the all-new Duster to the Indian market? And will it ever come here? I'm Vikram Gore, you're watching MOTORSCRIBES, and in this video, I'm going to be answering the question about the new Renault Duster and will it hit the Indian market. So for starters, the design has completely changed. You look at the new Dacia Duster, it's got sharper, edgier styling. It looks bold, it looks more macho. It looks like something that's going to sit really well in the mid-size SUV segment. Something very different from what we've seen from the closest competitors, which would have been the Honda Elevate, the Hyundai Creta, the Kia Seltos. You know, it's got more of an SUV stance to it. And I think the design language has really carried over. There's elements which are relatable to the original Duster, but there's also elements that show just how much it has evolved, especially the way the rear tailgate has been done, the side silhouette, the glass house to the body ratio. All of this makes a very big difference. So with that, I mean, the interiors have been spruced up as well. Dacia has done a brilliant job in sort of stretching out the Duster to give it more cabin space. I think with the original Renault Duster, rear seat comfort was definitely something that people did complain about. And in the new one, it looks like it's going to be very sorted because it is going to be a larger vehicle. It's got better proportions, better dimensions, and all of that makes a very big difference in what you're getting as a product. Under the hood, we're talking about having petrol and diesel engines, possibly a hybrid too. And unlike the competition, which I rattled off a little earlier, the Duster was one of the few vehicles that came with an all-wheel drive system. And the new one also gets a nice all-wheel drive system. In fact, it also gets 217 mm of ground clearance, which is great for off-roading. So it would be a proper SUV in that sense. You can take it and do a little bit of rough driving with it, go off-roading with it, and it's going to come with a nice powerful engine option, multiple options in fact. And I think the styling, the design, everything about it is about it being more of an evolved SUV rather than just being your quintessential soft-roader. So the Duster does have a lot riding for it, but coming down to the big question, will Renault bring it to India? To be honest with you, I don't see why not. Renault has tasted success with the Duster in the past, and this one has even more going for it. So it just makes sense for Renault to have it in their portfolio in the country. It is a vehicle that could really turn things around for Renault in the country. I mean, they have seen success with the Kwid and the Triber, but they don't really have too much more in their portfolio currently. And it would be great for Renault to sort of step up that game once again and jump right back in to the thickest part of the action in the auto industry, which is the mid-size SUV segment. We've seen Honda come in a couple years late. We would have loved the Elevate to have been here earlier. But having said that, we're still seeing a great offtake for the Elevate, which just goes to show you that this part of the industry, this segment, the mid-size SUV segment, has a lot of potential. And even if there are more players that come in, it will work for them. And the Duster does have legacy. There are owners out there, there are Duster clubs out there. There are people who really look forward to having a brand new Duster, in their garage. And that's just something that Renault should definitely consider and look at doing. Because if they can keep that price really competitive, bring the new Duster in that 13 to 16 lakh range, the really meaty part of the range, they would have a winner on their hands. Yes, people will question whether you can still depend on Renault. Well, to be honest with you, they might have struggled, but they didn't pack up. They're here to stay. They're very committed to the market. They're part of the entire Renault-Nissan alliance. Even Nissan is sort of picking up their bits and pieces and really structuring themselves for a bigger play in the country. We're going to see new products coming out from Nissan too. Exports have been doing great for both companies out of India. So I think they have a very strong foundation. They just need to have the right product, and the Duster would definitely be one of those products. Having said that, the big question would be then, if they are bringing the Duster, when will it come? To be honest with you, I would love for it to be here in 2024, but by the looks of it, I would think that Renault would probably bring it in early 2025. And why do I say it's going to come in early 2025? I think that when you look at how Renault has worked in the past, especially with rebadging a lot of their products, having to change it for the Indian market, having to tweak certain elements, it will have to be tested in India. So the entire cycle that is involved will involve at least a year's worth of groundwork before it comes in. So why do I say that 2025 is the more likely timeline for the new Duster to come to India? Well, it's not as simple as just putting on a Renault badge on the Dacia Duster and bringing it here. That would have been wonderful. It could have been here in a couple of months. But the truth is that it'll have to come in, it'll have to be tested, it'll have to go through its own cycle here in India. The engineers will tweak it, make it set for Indian conditions. And that's not just about changing the suspension or figuring out which parts work and which don't. India is dusty, hot, humid. We've got all sorts of weather and we need parts to be more reliable. And one thing we know from Renault and from Nissan, from the alliance, is that they do make rather reliable machines. In fact, their entire lineup, we've never really heard about a massive complaint about reliability. So testing for them is very important, and that will take its own cycle, which to me would be about a year's worth of time. And that's why I say 2025 for the Duster to finally come into India. Will it be too late? I can't say. Do they have something else up their sleeve? Maybe they do, and they surprise us in 2024. But for now, with the new Duster having broken cover internationally under the Dacia brand, it would be great for it to get the Renault badge and come to India. Once again, I look forward to your inputs on this. If you have any questions, any queries, you feel that I didn't answer something, leave it in the comment section below. It's my promise to answer each and every comment that comes in on the MOTORSCRIBES channel. And that's a commitment that I make to all my viewers and subscribers out there. So do spread the word, and I look forward to hearing from you.